Tobin here for RealAgriculture.com at the University of Guelph, and today in this report we're going to get a little nutty. We're going to talk about a new industry that's emerging here in Ontario, the Ontario hazelnut industry, and here to give us the scoop is Elliott Currie, Executive Director of the Ontario Hazelnut Association. Sir,
good afternoon.
Thanks for having us out to talk nuts.
Okay, might as well get nutty like you said.
Hey, it's really an industry that's just beginning. Give us a snapshot of what it is right now.
Right now, the industry is definitely in its embryonic stage. It's still at the nut stage. We have almost 100 acres planted across the province, usually in very small plots of 3, 5 acres, 1 acre, what have you. And it's mostly in southwestern Ontario, though there are a few people up like Collingwood area, etc., slightly colder climates. And we're looking at growing it to possibly 20,000, 30,000 acres.
Wow. So let's talk a little bit about hazelnuts before we get going there.
Sure.
What's the end use? Is it Nutella, Ferrero Rocher?
Yeah, well, it is probably Nutella is the large supplier or consumer because they already purchase 60% of the world's hazelnuts. Right. Now, the global supply is shrinking because Turkey did not do well last year. There are other places where they're growing it, Serbia, Republic of Georgia, Chile. Oregon's been at it for 50, 60, 70 years now. But the demand is going up, and Ferrero, Canada, has a $400 million factory in Brantford. And they're supplying Canada, the eastern United States, and Australia from that one plant. Right. And it's been expanded twice since 2006.
Now you're doing a lot of economic research on the opportunity here. Tell us about what the opportunity for hazelnut growing in Ontario is.
Well, I always look at it from the business side. How much does anybody want to buy? Is there a customer? Well, right now, Canada imports, last numbers we saw was 2012, 16,000 tons of hazelnuts. And that was just shelled, worth $105 million. So we figured that if Oregon says 2,800 pounds an acre, we could probably get 2,400 pounds an acre. We're a little bit cooler here. So that's easily 30,000 acres because it's growing, the demand. 10 years ago it was about 10,000 tons. Now it's 16,000 tons because most of this material is being exported. But it's also being used in baking by a lot of Mediterranean, Middle Eastern, European bakers use a lot of hazelnuts. Other confectionery companies use it. Rocher, we probably can't supply. Ferrero Rocher is the candy because we don't have the right variety that can grow here.
We're a cold and a warm variety.
Yeah, it's more of a Mediterranean, so it can't handle minus 15, minus 20 very well. It's more the male flowers can't survive, the catkins. But we have other varieties that are acceptable to Ferrero for the Nutella, which is a high volume. We were told 7,000, 8,000 tons they would need a year. Well, it's going to be a while till we get to that point. But at the same time, they, by being the largest player in the field, probably pay one of the lowest prices. There are other people, like the smaller bakers, that might need 500 kilos, 50 pounds, or somebody like Bulk Barn, grocery stores, Longo's, whatever. They might need I need 15, 20, 200, 500 tons. Well, if Ferraro's taking 6,000 tons, 500 tons, we figure is 500 acres.
Yeah. So the buyers would be interested in Ontario hazelnuts. Let's talk about it from the grower perspective.
Okay.
Establishment, you're planting,
You're probably planting 250 to 400 saplings. They're about 3 to 4 feet tall per acre. You might have some irrigation for the first 2 or 3 years, after which they're fairly drought resistant. They generally grow in drier areas in other parts of the world, but they are native to this part of the world as well. So you plant them, and after about 3, we figure 4 years, because we're trying to be conservative, you start making sales. You're not going to make a lot, but you will break even around year 7. We have a software that we developed, supported by the Ontario Centres for Excellence, that a farmer can go in, put in their data.
Right.
This is my acreage, this is where I am, how many trees do you want to put in the prices, and you can work it out. The tricky part is the trees last 50 to 100 years.
Okay, so, and when do you reach top production?
About year 10 to 12.
And does it continue at that level, or?
Pretty well continues that level. Climate, okay, if you had a cold winter, but that's with any crop.
Yeah.
We're doing 1 out of every 7 years expect a reduction. But it's almost biblical from that perspective. But it's the idea that, yes, generally you will make 2,000 pounds an acre at about $1.50 a pound. And your labor costs are not very heavy. We're estimating, based on Oregon, 40 hours of labor per acre per year,
Okay.
plus harvest. And the harvest is done September, late September, late September, from the ground. So there are some more rigorous hygiene rules, but you harvest from the ground, you package it all up, and you put it in the trucks, and then that's the next stage.
Right.
We need somebody to aggregate, clean, crack, qualify, ship, package, store.
Yeah. So you've got some work ahead of you. Tell us about where these fit. I mean, within the region of Ontario.
They're ideal in southwestern Ontario, Windsor to Niagara, pockets like Prince Edward County. Those are the higher quality ones, the more of the Mediterranean style. But we are experimenting. There's a fellow up near Collingwood. He's growing them. We're looking up near North Bay to try them there. Some people in Trois-Rivières are looking there. And they have grown them for a few years in Saskatchewan. And now PEI and Nova Scotia are looking to get on board. And BC has been growing for many years, similar to Washington and Oregon, but they're very, very limited in the land they can commit to anything, really, because they're in the valleys. We think if we went to the tobacco lands, sandy soil, that's actually pretty good for hazelnuts. And if you want about $2,500, $3,000 revenue an acre on about 40 hours of work an acre, and the equipment costs are not very big because you're under trees, so you have small tractors, small equipment. They're very disease tolerant. There's only maybe one you have to worry about, and you just keep an eye out for it, and that's what we're breeding for.
Right. You're selecting for that, obviously.
Yeah.
So, if anybody's got any more questions, you've got a meeting coming up, right?
Yes, we have the 6th Annual Hazelnut Symposium.
Okay.
It's March 24th in Brantford. We have speakers from Oregon, from Italy, from Luxembourg, industry, all different stages. The Hazelnut Association actually represents all members of the industry, whether you're micropropagator, nursery, farmer, producer, aggregator, end user, anybody along the line. They're all welcome to be part of it because it's only together that we actually can build the industry.
Right. And people can find out by going to the website, Ontario Hazelnut Association?
Yes, OHA.
Yep.
And that should be a great place to go.
Awesome. Hey, great story. Good luck with it. Sounds like it's got some potential.
Well, looks like it's going to be still growing long after I've retired or more.
Good stuff. Hey, thank you for your time.
My pleasure. Good luck.